Hello dear, once again a warm welcome to my channel. Today I would like to share another method to develop our English communication skill. So we all learn English communication by consciously. What do you mean by consciously? Consciously means by learning grammar. So by learning lots of English rules and grammars. So actually grammar means English rules. So in my opinion, that not my opinion. So I have watched a very wonderful video that. So I would like to share that video with you, dears. So if you want to learn English very fluently, you have to learn English by consciously. Consciously mean by your mind, your brain not aware that you are learning English language. So how to enhance our English communication like that way? And so for that you have to listen English language multiple times. Then only that will be happen. So unconsciously learning English language, we have to read, we have to listen, and so we have to write, and so then that time our brain is automatically learn all these kinds of things. So whenever we watch a video, whenever we watch a YouTube channels that is actually in English language, so we don't need to bother about the grammar rules, but we simply focus our whole attention. So what is actually the person is trying to speak us, then only. So we are listening that video very nicely and very carefully. At that time our brain is automatically and consciously learning that English language structure. And so we don't need to focus our all attentions for learning English grammar. And so when we focus all attentions to learn English grammar and to English rules, so we felt very difficult to do when we trying to speak English language. And so that is the main problems many people faced when they began to communicate in English. So you have to just focus your whole attention. So when you listen English communication, so by simply watching English videos or audios or podcast, that is a very easy way to develop our English communication skill. And so how we learn our mother tongues, how we learn our mother tongues. So when we simply listening what is actually our elders, our family members are trying to speak, and so we simply listening them, and we trying to speak like them. And so that is why simply we learn a lots of words and vocabularies and consciously. And so then finally we connect all these words and vocabularies, and then we trying to speak, and then we create ideas and consciously, and we don't need any grammar book or any other rules to speak in our mother tongue. So the same way we have to speak in our we try to speak in English language as well. So that is the simplest way to develop our English communication skill. So please try to learn English language unconsciously. So unconsciously train your brain to learn English language. So for that you have to listen English language as much as possible. So try to, you suppose at the initial times you may not understand what is actually that speaking, but don't try to worry about that. Please listen as much as possible, and then try to understand what is actually speaking in that particular video. Then try to speak with your friends or with you. So there are multiple applications to speak English language, and so try to use all such opportunities to speak in English language. And so when we get an opportunity, you don't need to wait, you don't need to bother about so of course my English will be mistake, so I don't like to speak in English. So you don't need to think about that. Of course mistake is quite common in every human being's life. Without mistake we can't learn any single things in our life. And so we consciously ready to mistake, then only we can learn English language, dears. So learn English like that way. So dear friends, read as much as possible and listen as much as possible. That is the only way to develop your English communication skill. And so that will unconsciously develop your communication skill. And so you don't need to difficultly learn English. So it is very boring, it is very difficult to learn English if our mind is not okay. And so for that you have to listen the topic that is based on your interest, that is based on your taste. Suppose some people like to listen more about to travel. So some people like to travel very much, and some people like business or food, or some based on your interest. You have to choose your topic based on your interest, and you can listen various topics based on your interest and listen as much as possible. And if you get 10 hours free time, then absolutely use that 10 hours to listen English language. And so you can understand how fastly your English communication began to develop. And so you can notice that change. And so listening and practicing. And so not only listening is not will work. And so when you listen more, your brain unconsciously store all this information that you have listened, and then you have to speak that English. And so whenever you get an opportunity, choose so use that opportunity very well and speak as much as possible. And so open your mouth. That's the only solution. Open your mouth and begin to speak. Thank you, dears. Bye bye. See you again with another new video. And so if you like my video, subscribe my channel.